Welcome to the Fear-Free Human Show. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty and I was a bit late there getting my system rebooted. My name is Zen Cryar DeBrucke and I am here on the Fear-Free Human Show. The goal of the show is to help you to become a fear-free human, not fearless. We don't want less fear. We want zero fear. And the way to have zero fear in your life is to follow your internal guidance system, because all fear, which includes worry, anxiety, overwhelm, frustration, irritation, procrastination, all fear boils down to guidance that is being given to you that you are actually moving off of your optimal path in life. Now, I know that sounds really crazy because when I first discovered the internal guidance system, it was, first of all, very confusing. I heard about it from Esther Hicks, who is the famed Abraham Hicks person who brought through a lot of the law of attraction work that we're into today. Not that she started it. It was here long before now with Neville Goddard and the Think and Grow Rich series and all of that. The law of attraction's been around for a while, but she really did kind of champion the new version of it coming out. It was the basis of The Secret. And I have my own issues with the law of attraction, because I don't think it's a kind of an armchair, get a Ferrari kind of thing. And in the movie The Secret, they showed somebody sitting in an armchair pretending to be driving a Ferrari, and then the Ferrari shows up in the person's driveway. I haven't found that to be something that's actually true. But I do really believe as a soul, as a divine being, that what happens for us as we move through life is our physical vibration, which makes up our emotions, our thoughts, the way that we react to situations, which comes from our emotion and our thoughts, actually does reverberate out from us into the world and then brings back to us like energy that's similar to what it is that we are engaged in. I like to think of it as a mirror. The world around you is a mirror. And whatever shows up in your mirror is a reflection of stuff that you have inside of you. And once you actually start working with the internal guidance system and you are actually completely creating, consciously going from a tight, closed, constricted place, which what most of us, because you may not understand what the IGS is, internal guidance system, called IGS for short, most of us just exist allowing the center of our body to expand and contract without us really paying attention to it. We just react to the way that we feel inside. But anytime that you feel that tightness, what's happened is the human experience has labeled that tightness different things based on the situation we're in. So if you are feeling tight inside because you're not getting enough done in your life, you're procrastinating. Procrastination is always a tight, closed sensation, because it means that what you're thinking about the procrastination is not true. If you're procrastinating on something and you feel that tightness, we've labeled this tightness different things. Irritation, if you're irritated with somebody, or impatient, if you're feeling impatient about something happening in your life or a person in your life, right? That tightness is there the whole time that's happening. You'll notice that there's a tightness. Well, that tightness is working independently of your thinking and your emotions. It is an expansion and contraction in the center of your body that is letting you know, it's giving you actual guidance that what you're thinking in that situation is not true or not going to happen. And I know, and I understand that may seem like an absolutely crazy thing, that no matter what it is, if you're feeling tight, anxious, it means that what you're thinking isn't true and isn't going to happen. But after working with 40,000 people and having them report back to me and having them live their lives from following what we call flow, feeling the light expanded, feeling light, open, and wise inside, I can tell you that it's true. And any suffering that you're having in your life internally, I'm not saying there isn't external things that are difficult. We all get into financial issues. We all have relationship challenges, health challenges. Things come up that are really hard. I'm not saying that life isn't hard, but what I am saying is your response to it does not have to have you have any suffering at all. I'm going to say that again. Your response to hard things in life, okay, does not have to create any suffering at all in your life. Because once you learn that this tight sensation, which is what causes your actual feeling of suffering, that what it is it's related to your thinking, and you flip your thinking and you open the situation that you're experiencing on the external plane, It feels it completely different, and you respond to it completely different. And when you respond to what's going on around you, this is where we get back to the law of attraction. When you respond to it differently, when you respond to it from an expanded open spaciousness inside of you, it shows up differently. It responds differently as well, the situation that you're in, and the outcome is better. The way that you will find yourself get through these experiences is with way more magic and miracles and synchronicity. And in the end, no matter what you're tackling, whether it could even be death. I've had people who are passing, who've come to me to get coaching on this. And even in death, you can feel an open peace that you're right where you're supposed to be and do death well. Even the loss of a loved one. It's hard, but you'll be able to do it well because you'll find this beautiful, spacious, loving way to do grief. So this is the key, is that we in the moment when you move into a new place, when you go from a constricted, tight feeling and you move through your thinking until you find that thinking that's opening and you move into that, that's how you actually change your frequency. That's how you actually change what they call your vibration. And it's interesting to me because as I've been playing with this for years, right? What I've found is that I'm not sure. It's kind of like a chicken and an egg thing, right? We've got our vibrational frequency, and I can't tell if things come to us to challenge us, to shift our frequency and help us to grow, which I think is true, or if, so they're coming to us in a destiny kind of way, or if there's a self-determination where we are, because of us making the choices mentally with our thinking, that we do, and we're playing into the closing and we're not choosing an opening, whether things come to us that are really challenging and hard because we're calling them to us. I think it's a little bit of both. It feels much more fractal and dynamic to me, the way that we interact with the world around us. And it's kind of fun to play with it because what you'll notice is as you hit something that's hard and then you find your way through it and you get into an opening and there's a sense of peace and excitement, even in the hard things, there's a richness, a preciousness to everything. Even the stuff that's hard feels different. And we didn't come here, in my opinion, to this realm to have it easy. We didn't come here just for the good times. I actually do believe that there is another realm that is loving and beautiful and incredible. If you've been listening to me for a while, I'm a big fan of near-death experiences, and I find them very curious and nourishing and spiritually in a lot of ways, listening to people and what's happened to them when they've gone past the living into the realm of being after death and then coming back. I find that they don't want to come back often. People talk about it. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, there's a whole bunch of them on YouTube you can check out. Some of them are really good. And some of them are fake. They really have to work hard to make sure that people aren't faking it. But you can kind of tell because of the way it makes you feel when you listen to the story. There's a gal out there named Amy, and she's wearing a green top. I don't have the one. I can't remember the name of it right now, but boy, her near-death experience was really, really inspiring. Anyway, so maybe I'll link it to the bottom of this show, but what they don't want to come back. They are filled with love and they're like, why would I ever want to go back to that place that's so hard? The overarching experience is that everyone in their life that they're leaving behind is perfectly okay always and will be fine without them and don't need them. There's no worry about their children, their spouses. They generally just know, because they can see with the new layer of wisdom in their life that there's everything's always going to be okay. And you'll find that when you follow your internal guidance system, that is the overarching theme for your life as well, is that it always turns out okay, even in the most dire experiences where you just can't believe that it's possible, even going to be possible at all, that you're going to be able to get through this situation and it's going to be okay. Truly, your internal guidance system will open at that thinking. And at the end, when it's complete, whatever it is that's a challenge, that's hard, when you get to the end of it, you wouldn't have changed it or had it any other way, even though it was really hard. It can be hard to see in the middle, but as you're going through it, it's not. And yet when they show the person, they say, you've got to go back. And most often they give them a choice, which is interesting to me. We always have free choice, even in the death experience. Most often when they show them their life and what they're here to do, they reluctantly say, all right, I'll go back. All right, I'll go back and do that thing that I wanted to do. So we came from a really beautiful, hard place. I mean, a really beautiful, loving place, not a hard place. And we come down here knowing it's going to be hard, knowing we're going to forget who we are, having the challenge in our life that we're having because we want to. Like, it's a choice to be here. This is what's coming out as a theme in the near-death experience. And it's really interesting because they're starting to aggregate from all over the world, all these people for 100 years or so. It's been about 100 years that they've been documenting this. There's been reports of this way back, thousands of years ago, over and over again. There's been reports of this, but they're actually like scientifically creating a database now and organizing the whole near-death experience. And the interesting thing also is that as I've been kind of going through and for my own edification, watching these, there's a lot of hinting at the fact that we have an internal guidance system, that our thoughts are incredibly important. Like I've heard so many people come back from a near-death experience in their testimonies and say, if I had only known how powerful our thinking is. You want to choose your thoughts very, very carefully. They have deep impact on the world around you. And the way to do that is the internal guidance system. Because if you have a thought that is going to create havoc, disharmony, right, that's out of alignment, then what will happen is you'll feel it. It's like every single human being is born with a system where when you feel that tightness, which looks like a lump in your throat, a tightness in your chest, a sick feeling in the solar plex area, right? That tightness is an alarm telling you that there's thinking that's going to be taking you into a place in your life that's creating disharmony or that's not true for you. And the more that you follow down that path of that train of thought, the farther you're getting to your ultimate life's blueprint. And so once you understand this and you wake up to that fact, then you can stop and go, oh, I'm closed. What was it that I was just thinking? You find the thought, and then through training, you understand what type of thought it is and different types of thought. Irritation has a practice on how to release irritation and get into the opening. Procrastination has a practice, a way of looking at your thinking and looking to see, how do I move through what's really going on with this procrastination experience I'm in? Is it divine timing? Is it someone else's to do? Does it not have to be done at all? Right? This is just, these are just little ways of questioning your thinking, not the IGS, but questioning the thinking you're having. Okay. Impatience always means you have time. When you're feeling impatient with something, you need the extra time. You have the time to stop and do the thing that you want to do, the thing that you don't want the thing coming to you earlier, because divine timing is a real thing. It's like you can see it all in nature. You do not have flowers coming up in winter. When we get a quick, heat wave before spring starts, we're all freaked out because we know the flowers are going to pop up and we'll have less flowers and the trees will start to bud up, right? So divine timing is very important on every level of our culture, including in our personal lives. And there's something inside of you that's attuned to all of that you're born with. And so it's a way to cultivate the life of your dreams as you go through your day.